Hi, everybody. Today I am taking a look at the MomAgenda Self Care Planner. Now, they had sent me their 2022-2023 planner, which I already reviewed. I'll leave that linked below. When I was looking at the different colors to decide which one I was going to ask them to send me, I saw this planner and I was like, ooh, so I actually purchased this one myself and ordered it to review. You guys know me. I'm always on the lookout for a good wellness, self-care, health-oriented planner because as somebody with chronic illnesses, having a place to track them is so important. But I've also found that a lot of those planners tend to be a little weak sauce, maybe is the word I'm looking for. Coming soon on Sundays, once I come back to my regular live streams, I'm going to be alternating live plan with me's with like a live show where I have conversations and discuss things, and self-care and the wellness industry is definitely going to come into it. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you subscribe. Let's talk a little bit about this planner, the info on it. It is the MomAgenda Self Care Planner, currently $40, although this version of it, which was the first version, they're pretty similar. They've just updated it with more colors. But it says MomAgenda Self Care Planner, but the newest version just says Self Care Planner on the front. That one's $40. This one is $32 if you're still on the website looking for it on sale. But the regular price is $40. You can customize it with your name or whatever with foil for $10. And if you subscribe and get a new one delivered every however many days, I think this is like a 3-month planner, then you can save 15%. It's undated, 90 days. Daily spreads that I'm reading info off the website, by the way. Daily spreads that feature wellness trackers and daily planners with space for mom and up to 4 kids. Also includes monthly views and line note pages, 120 GSM paper, luxurious suede feel cover with gold foil, and there's 3 colors to choose from. This is the Dusty Rose color. It's 6.5 inches by 9 inches, and it has a wire O binding. So now that we've looked at the specs of it, let's take a look at it. The suede cover is exactly that. It's got kind of a, I don't know, almost like a pebbled sort of look to it. I'm not a big fan of the texture of it, but I have some tactile issues, and so suede type feels like this are just not my thing, but it feels luxurious enough. It's a gold wire O binding with the gold foil imprinted on the front, and then the back is just the cover. The cover is kind of like a cardstock that has a layer of this suede kind of stuck to it. So that's what creates the cover itself. It's not one thick layer, it's 2 layers that are kind of glued together. Inside has this kind of shiplap situation that they did on the inside of their other planner. It says Self-Care Planner by MomAgenda, 90-day undated planner. Create healthy routines and learn to put yourself on the to-do list, and it gives you a spot for your information. The paper is a cream color, and the type is like a dark gray. It's just some information, introduction, blah, blah, blah. Some how to use this book pages. We've got holidays, and I talked a little bit about the holidays in the MomAgenda planner, and they add a lot of different holidays here. They even make a note at the bottom that Jewish holidays begin at sundown on the days listed. So yeah. Then we've got the perpetual calendar for 2021, 2022. I also think the newer version has maybe 2023 in it, but we shall see. So we have the months, and much like some of their other MomAgenda planners, it looks like the months are all at the front of the book. There are 3 months because it's a 90-day planner. You get 5 rows of days with a Monday start, a notes section. You have a quote up at the top. And then there is a little bit of line. It's not fully lined, but each day does have some amount of lines on it. And the quotes are different on every single day. Once you get through your 3 undated months, we get into your 90 days. And there's nothing that breaks these up. It's just 90 spreads. Now, one of the cool things about this planner is that the spread is 2 pages. So each day you get 2 pages. 1 page devoted to like your schedule and your plans, and 1 page devoted to your wellness. So let's take a look. We'll look at the even though the left is the wellness side, we're going to look at the planner side first. It's very similar to what you see in the MomAgenda. So you have the date, And then you have all the days of the week, so you can circle which one this day is. Divided into sections the same way that the weeks are in the Mom Agenda, but this is a daily page. So you have a me time. You have a column on one side that's blank with one big section that says me time and then 4 smaller sections. And then on this side, you have your my day, which gives you a schedule section. I'm not sure how well you can see, but at the beginning of each day, there's like a little dot so you can add your times to it. There are 17 lines, so either 17 hours, or you could break that up into like 8.5 hours if you do it in half an hour on each one, depending on how you want to set your day up. But because there's no times in here, you can do it however you want to. And then the 4 sections just have 4 lined sections next to them. So you could use this as like a label area and then the actual plans, or you could actually use the whole page. It just depends on how you want to. In the standard Mom Agenda with the kids stuff, these are meant for like your kids. So like each kid gets their own section. But for me, if I was going to use this, I would likely put a schedule here and then to-dos here, maybe separated into areas like errands versus cleaning versus work, whatever, and then use this to jot down like my regular, like, I don't know, list of stuff to do. It's a lot of space though for a daily page with a lot of broken up sections, but not a lot of already labeled stuff. So you could use it however you want to. Even this My Day section, you could ignore these little dots and just write over it. You probably wouldn't even notice. Or you could use this as a checkbox for a to-do list. Let's see what the how to use this planner says for that. So here it has it using it as if you're a mom. To-do list in this section. This is your like your day schedule, and then a spot for each kid. I probably wouldn't do that. My kids are not involved in a shit ton of activities anymore. And if you're not a mom, honestly, there's nothing here that would make you, like, you wouldn't even have to cover anything up. The other side is the part that's like different than like the weekly planners I've looked at, and it's the wellness tracker. And so this is the one I'm actually the most curious about. So it gives you a whole bunch of sections on one side: sleep, mood, water, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, drinks, exercise. And for the water, it gives you 8 teardrops to check off, but doesn't tell you what amount each teardrop is. And then on this side, we have priorities, desires, and gratitudes. And then at the bottom, reflections and notes. What I like about this is it gives you a lot of space to put a lot of things in without being super prescriptive. I guess the thing that really bums me out about this is that this really seems to be just for somebody who's maybe struggling to prioritize themselves, but not somebody who's sick, which is fine. This is a self-care like planner, not a sickness planner, but there's so much space on this side. I would love it if they came out with something like this with like spots, like instead of 3 big boxes, having spots like divided up where you could put things like blood pressure, medications, or your weight, or temperature, or any other thing you might need to track. I think that the amount of space here is awesome. It's not too big, not too small. I just don't think this is something that I would find particularly useful because the things I need to track for self-care tend to be a little more specific than this. But it's not heinous, and it doesn't feel extremely like toxic the way some wellness products can. It just gives you a space to kind of keep track of things. The other thing I like is that the quotes are only on the months and not on the daily pages. I was worried there was going to be some like bullshit goop style situation on these pages, and there's not, which is awesome. So then you get through, so you have 90 of these spreads, 92-page spreads for wellness. And then when you get to the end of it, you basically get like an entire chunk of lined notes pages. So you could theoretically use this for journaling or for adding information that's not available here. It seems pretty adaptable to what you might want as a wellness planner. And I like that, like, if you wanted, I know some people take regular planners and adapt them to become their wellness planners. Well, if you're on something where you're trying to track your fitness or your food or something, this actually could be a great option that doesn't require you to do a lot of like futzing around with it to make it work. Like I said, it's not really great, I think, if you're a chronically ill person necessarily, unless you want to do a lot of like writing things in every single day to like say, okay, well, here's my blood pressure or whatever. But I could see who this would be useful for. Then you get to the end, more shiplap, and then you're at the back cover. So it's a fairly simple planner. Let's take a look and do a pen test. So this paper, they said it's 120 GSM, heavy stock paper. It feels nice. It's got a little bit of a tooth to it, but it's still pretty smooth. Like I said, it's a very off-white, kind of creamy. It's not super yellow, but it is creamy, definitely not white. As an example, here is just a sheet of Chrissy Ann Designs where this is definitely like a bright white. You can kind of see the contrast there. Not this is pink. This is the bright white. Anyway, so the pens I am using, I have a Pentel Energel RTX 07 gel pen. I have a Pentel Finito Ultra Fine Porous Fine Liner, a Tombow Dual Brush Pen, a Zig Clean Color Dot Marker, and a Zebra Mild Liner. For reference, I'm heavy-handed. I press down lightly and then harder with the dot pen, and then a single pass and a double pass of the highlighter. Also, I've noticed sliding this around on my desk is a little difficult because of the suede material catching on it. The paper itself wrote very nicely. It's not super like slick, has that grit to it, so that's cool. Now, if you look on the other side, paper did very, very well. There is a ridging with the gel pen, no ridging with the fine liner. There is the faintest of ghosting with the fine liner, but only like depending on how it catches the light. But there's no ghosting with the Tombow. There's only a small amount of ghosting with the dot pen on the second, the harder press down, maybe getting close. The closest thing to bleeding is that second press down of the dot pen. And then there's no ghosting with the light dot pen dot press, the single pass with the highlighter, and there's very faint ghosting with the double pass. This paper is excellent for markers and highlighters if that's something you want to use in it. I think that this is a interesting self-care planner for a specific audience. I don't think my particular problems are the audience for this planner, but I think it could be very handy for people in specific circumstances. I think $40 for 90 days is a little pricey for a self-care planner. I think that this is not something I would use. Maybe it's something I would use when I get a kidney transplant and I'm not tracking certain things anymore. But generally speaking, this is not for me right now, but it may be for you, especially if you're trying to track your food or something else. I will be doing a bunch of giveaways in the month of September, so stay tuned for that. This will definitely be in that giveaway. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this planner down below, as well as any planners you would like me to take a look at. I think it's interesting. I think it's well made. It's just not for me. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, friends, peace.